Hello, and thank you so much for joining me. Today I am showing you step by step how to paint this cute wine bottle painting. This painting is part of an art kit I sell that includes everything you need to make this piece. It is available on my website for you to purchase. Follow the link in the description below. If you have your kit and you're ready to go, let's do it. Thank you again for joining me. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button. So let's get started. You're going to start with your tracing drawing, your canvas, and a piece of carbon paper. There's another way we can do this. I'll show you here in a bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to tape your carbon paper onto the back of your tracing drawing, and you're going to tape it down to the paper so that it doesn't move around. Once you have it taped down, you're going to turn it over and place it on top of your canvas. You're going to try and center it a little bit, and then you're going to just start going over the drawing with your pencil. You want to press slightly hard on this. You don't want to tear the paper, but you want it to show, you want it to go through and transfer your image onto the canvas. And you're just going to go over all the lines so that you have the drawing on the canvas. Another way to transfer your drawing to the canvas is to turn over the drawing. Use your pencil to scribble in around all the lines that are on the front side of the canvas. This is basically making your own carbon paper or graphite paper to transfer it. So if you don't have any carbon paper, no worries, you can do it this way. And so go over all the lines, and then you will do the same thing that you did with the carbon paper, the lines onto the canvas. Then we will get our paints out. These paints will come in the kit. You'll have green, brown, black, white, and yellow. We're going to do a little bit of mixing. You also want a cup of water for rinsing your brushes, and then there's the 2 brushes that come with your painting kit. We're going to start with the yellow, and I'm using the flat brush in the kit. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to fill in all the petals on the flowers with my yellow. This doesn't have to be perfect. I'm outlining every petal, but you can just color in the whole section of the petal and just get the outline on the outer edge. You don't need to be as careful as I am here, unless you want to. Once I get all the yellow painted in, I'm going to use a little bit of brown to get the inner circle in the center of the flower painted in. I'm just using brown for this. Once that's done, I will mix up a little dark yellow. I'm just mixing some yellow with some brown, and then I'm doing that inner part of the flower. Next, I'm going to mix some dark green, a little bit of black with some green to make it dark, and I'm going to paint in my wine bottle, starting along the edge because you want the edge of the wine bottle to be darker than the center. Get that all filled in. and paint around the label. Then I'm going to use some straight green on the other side. Next, I'm mixing a little bit of yellow with my green to make it a lighter green, and I'm going to use this green around the edges of the petals. I'm using the flat brush, but you can use the round brush for this part to get more precise in the corners of the flower petals. Totally up to you which brush you want to use. I'm using the edge of my flat brush just because it's quicker to fill it in with the flat brush than if I had the round brush there. You can also use your little round brush to outline the edges of the petals and then fill in all the rest with the flat brush. In some of the little spots you can use the round brush as well. And I'm not going all the way to the edge of the wine bottle with this. Once I have all that green in there, I'm going to use the yellow. I'm going to blend it into the edge of that green and go up to the edge of the wine bottle and fill that all in with yellow. And I'm blending it into the green as I go. Once I'm done blending in the yellow with the green, I'm going to get some white on my brush, and I'm just going to do a little bit of blending with the white on that edge. And then I'm going to use the white to make some contrast in my petals. Basically, I'm just using the white along the edges and a little bit in the middle to show the ridges of the flower petals. And I'm doing this on all the petals. This is random. It really doesn't have to be specific, just like what I'm doing here. A little bit on the edges, a little bit on the middle. Once that's done, I'm mixing a little bit of dark yellow using a little brown with my yellow, and I'm going into the center of the flower up against that white, and I'm just putting a little bit of dark yellow on the center and then in between the petals, on those back petals, the ones that are in between the main petals. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other little flower. Next, I'm using my black, and I'm using my little round brush, and I am putting black outlines on the petals on the flower. And I'm not doing a real solid chunky line, I'm just doing a little light line here and there. And then I'm also filling in that white area on the inside of the flower with black. This just helps the flower stand out, defines the edges a little bit. Then I'm taking a little bit of black and darkening up the edges of this wine bottle, making it a little more rounded looking. Once that black is all blended in with the green, then I'm going to take a little brown and just a little suggestion of a label there. You can do something fancy if you want. I'm just keeping it simple. After the label, then I'm putting some yellow highlights on the bottle. This goes a little bit further to make the bottle look rounded and give it a more glassy look. And then I'm taking white with my little brush and I'm making little dots on the middle of the flower. And these are random dots. Then I'm taking the white and I'm going over the yellow highlights on the bottle, making them a little more pronounced. And you can blend this a little better than I'm doing. A few more little finishing touches and we're done. If you would like to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel so you won't miss a thing.